Gen Z are one of the first generations to ever grow up with social media shoved in their faces. During their preteens, they were around when Insta and Facebook were starting to take off, and now as adults, navigating in a world run by short-form content, influencers with overfilled faces, telling them what they're seeing is normal. That you're actually mid and that faces and bodies should be rated on a scale.
Being Gen Z is awful because if I lived in any other generation, I would at least have a shot at being called pretty. But because our generation's beauty standard is absolutely cooked, I am doomed to forever be called mid or ugly when I have not asked for any feedback on my appearance. Like, I am so serious when I say our generation has completely lost touch of what normal people look like. It's insane.
And if they don't get work done, they might as well just end up getting left behind. Well, buckle up, besties, because today is going to be an absolutely wild ride. Because in today's video, I want to discuss how this phenomenon is literally destroying Gen Z and how it's creating the new Gen Z face, which is seriously getting out of control. And it just makes sense why Gen Z has turned to fillers and cosmetic procedures so early on in adulthood. When you open social media, you are blasted with thousands of people that are extraordinarily attractive. People with fake bodies and faces, now to the point where you don't even know if they're real or fake at all. You're conditioned to start thinking that it's normal and that getting plastic surgery or fillers, cosmetic procedures is like completely normal. Girl, everybody's doing it. Lael, you're the weird one. Everybody's doing it.
Crazy, you're undesirable by men. Therefore, our most valuable currency has become our appearance, and everybody participates in this, including myself. And before you come for me, oh, it's my choice. Okay, let's integrate that. It's a choice when you've been socialized from birth to believe that your value lies in your appearance, when every reward, romantic, economic, even social, is distributed by the proximity to a manufactured ideal. This is why Instagram face / Instagram body has become such a prevalent thing. Nothing radical about turning your face into an ad for the patriarchal capitalism. And I say this with love, but also accountability. If we keep on calling complacent empowerment, then we're never going to have the courage to imagine actual freedom for ourselves. This holds the history of you and all your ancestors' experiences. Stop changing it, please. Plastic surgery is not a form of rebellion, but so much to be gained from appealing to the male gaze. There is so much social reward that a lot of times turns into economic reward for women when they are participating in this oppressive system.
We've talked all about the normalization of a lot of these procedures here on my channel, but we haven't really touched on how looking average or mid is really affecting women today. Because while getting an entirely new face is shown as the solution, what really pushes women to get these procedures is the shame that comes with looking average. We're taught and conditioned to be ashamed of our natural features. And a lot of these natural features are what make us so unique and different. But we're being told that if you're not hitting an extremely high beauty standard, then you're just not worth being deemed attractive. What is not of the beauty standard today is not good enough. And what I find most insane about all of this is the language that they're using. Like, there is something called medium pretty and high pretty now. You guys, I feel like I've spent enough days on this earth. I just feel I'm getting tired. I'm getting so tired of everything that I see on social media. Like, you guys, this is exhausting.
Okay, there's been a lot of people asking what this means. I did inquire with the person that said that I'm the best looking mid. To my knowledge, this person is like pretty much was trying to say that I'm like attractive enough to be average. I'm not like above average attractive, but I'm like on the higher end of average. I take a win as a win.
No, it's really not. What does that mean? Like, who is saying that to her? Who is deciding that? You're a knockout. People should look deeper than what's on the outside. Your attitude and sense of humor are awesome. This is just, what are we talking about? And like, are we listening to strangers on the internet?
Honestly, being mid-pretty is the best because you can reap the benefits of pretty privilege without being the target of insecurity or jealousy. I knew this girl from back in college and she was so gorgeous. Probably the most conventionally beautiful woman we've ever seen. Even though she was like super low-key and didn't do much, there were always so many rumors and comments spread about her because
beauty really is in the eye of the beholder. How can anybody call themselves mid or high pretty? What you feel about yourself, number one, is most important, but other people are always going to have somebody that they would pick over you. Like, for example, some people really like blonde girls, some people really like Asian girls, some people really like that's literally it. Who is living by these rules? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Gen Z, you guys are out of control. I'm a Gen Z. I'm an elder Gen Z, but I'm getting pissed. How can we determine if we're mid pretty or not? I'm a little confused. Wake up and go live your normal life, girl. It's some like make-believe idea that the internet created because they don't spend their time doing anything of importance, right? What are y'all even talking about? No, like this is what happens. Like I go on social media because I am interested. I have to stay young somehow. And I'm always like, what are we really looking at right now? Like it's already bad enough that you can't just be pretty.
Being mid is genuinely like one of the most annoying things ever. No, don't get me wrong. I'm fine with being mid. And it could have been a lot worse, so I'm glad that I'm just mid.
You're in now some sort of weird competition with other attractive women, and it's all hinging on the idea that you're either more or less pretty than them. And you guys know I've been saying this for long enough, but it really is the phones. It really is the fact that nobody chooses to do anything real or of any substance anymore, and everybody is so deeply fixated on the way that they look. I've said this in so many of my previous videos. Your face is not a hobby, girl. There are so many things that you can do to take care of yourself, having a nice shower, doing your skincare. That's all great. It's wonderful. But you need to find enjoyment and pleasure in life outside of sitting in front of the mirror and deciding whether or not your nose is big enough. For me, personally, the reason this doesn't stick is because I like to live in a delusion. You know what I'm saying? I would never call myself mid-pretty. I made this joke all the time where I'm like, bro, I know I'm not Megan Fox. I'll never be Megan Fox. But there's a beautiful thing to that. Do you know what I'm saying? I know Megan Fox, Angelina Jolie, absolutely stunning, gorgeous, but there's nothing better than being yourself. And for me personally, I will always say that I am the prettiest person in the whole world because it makes me feel goddamn good. Whether or not somebody else believes that is totally up to them. Who would ever voluntarily say that they're mid? Like I'm medium pretty. I'm just mid. It's giving pick me, girl. Just say that you're hot. Like, stop. And like, no way you're so pretty. You're really pretty. I think you're really pretty. So are we fishing for compliments? Are we giving pick me?
If you think you're attractive, but you don't think you're like that attractive and you keep wanting to be more attractive, you probably fall into this category of something I like to call medium pretty. And while it sounds like an insult, I actually think it's the biggest blessing to be medium pretty, and I'm gonna tell you why. As someone who is medium pretty myself, I can tell you that I absolutely had to form a personality growing up because the most interesting thing about me was not my looks. And literally don't come at me, I'm not even saying that like super beautiful people can't have personalities. That's not what I'm saying at all. Let's use our noggins. But what I'm saying is because they're so beautiful, like that is probably, that's the first thing people see is with their eyeballs, what you look like. That's probably their first point of connection with people. And so like when I'm talking to a guy, for example, like I know that they're not interested in me primarily for my looks. They might think I'm cute, they might think I'm pretty, they might think I'm hot, but that's not why they're staying. Like that, it's not the most interesting thing about me because I'm medium pretty.
So, bro, I guess for me, the thing about this that just like kind of gives me a bit of an ick, am I really gonna prop my camera up like on my phone and talk to TikTok strangers about the type of good looking I am? No, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? This starts to kind of look like it's a loop for validation or like one-upping on each other. Bro, and this is starting to piss me off too. Hey guys, what kind of pretty am I? Don't ask strangers on the internet, bro. That's the last thing you ever want to do. If I came on here and I said, guys, what kind of pretty am I looking for the smoke? Am I looking to be called the crimson chin? I'd rather not. It's so hard knowing after kids, but this is me now 8 months postpartum. Why do you want validation from strangers? Live your life and be who you are. Be gorgeous as you are. What am I? What is this comment section? Can you tell me what pretty I am? Like, actually, I'm not kidding you. That like gives me the biggest pick me ick. Get a job, get something to do. You literally don't need the validation of others. It's so unimportant. Well, the worst part of this whole thing is this constant one-upping of each other. It's like we're being taught as women to constantly compare ourselves to one another and somehow win this arbitrary competition. So much so that people have completely changed the idea of what being average is supposed to look like. Men can easily call any woman that they want mid, and that's what makes women just feel like they need to strive to this unbelievable level of attractiveness, and still somehow it's not enough. At this point, this is why we get so many people turning to facelifts, rhinoplasties, unbelievable amounts of filler, just to remain relevant or attractive, leading filled faces to become the industry standard. This is what has become our new average, you guys.
Our version of what an average should just be a 5 out of 10, but our view of like a 5 out of 10 in reality is just like a 7 out of 10. Like, that sounds confusing, But since we're so used to like social media and seeing like the 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, anything below that is just like immediately like ugly. But that's not true, because in the real world, most people aren't like drop dead gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They're just normal.
And I think people start to get very, very confused when all they're looking at all day is 1,000,001 beautiful blonde women all over social media, brunette, skinny, thin, Ozempic, all of this. They get so fixated and they're like, it's gotta be me. I can't go to this. I need a face just like that. I actually need that face. I need this exact face. What am I gonna do if I don't have Adriana Lima's face? Like, you guys literally are starting to sound like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What are you gonna cut her face up so that you can have the same thing? It's weird. You guys are very weird and confused. And you guys have to understand that these weird rudimentary tests and ways to like segregate our types of beauties, they're just blasted to Gen Z all day long. They get told to their faces whether they are attractive or not.
I am a professional dating coach, and this is a test to see if you are an attractive person or a super attractive person.
Jacob Lucas is the last person I care whether or not I'm attractive, super attractive. I can tell myself that. Tell yourself that, girls. And what I find most interesting about these types of pretty is TikTok pretty, which I believe has actually become Gen Z's #1 fascination. TikTok pretty versus model pretty.
There is such a big difference between real life attractive and social media attractive. But obviously we all know the whole thing of the people that you see on social media are generally more attractive than people 3 or 4 generations ago saw ever in their entire lives. And we have an endless feed of them technically. And now that is true. But what is also true is people who are extremely famous on social media for their looks don't look like that in person. There is some overlap where the people in social media are very attractive in person as well, but for the most part, they look pretty normal in real life. They're just good with angles or good with editing, whatever it might be. And then there's the whole thing of people who are naturally very attractive in real life have a hard time showing that in photos for some reason. Because it's not necessarily some feature of theirs that's so attractive, it's more how they hold themselves or, you know, the people they hang around.
This actually reminds me a lot of a friend I knew growing up, and she was like kind of like did a little bit of IG modeling growing up. And like back when I was 18, 10 years ago, IG modeling was something of quite incredible substance. Like if you had a gig doing IG modeling, that was different. And I remember meeting her through her social media, and I just remember seeing her images and I was like, holy crap, like she is so incredibly stunning. And I met her in person and she was no more spectacular than anybody I'd ever seen, but her Instagram was so unbelievable and I didn't know what it was because I'm like, bro, we didn't have Facetune 10 years ago. Her and I took a picture together at the gym. This girl just knew her angles like, oh my, like the back of her hand. She just knew exactly how to pose at what angle and what lighting and what her side was. And obviously from the modeling aspect of it, there are just some people who know their faces, they know how to look good, and then you don't even realize what they actually look like because it's part of a facade to try to sell you to understand that, well, I'm actually really good looking, so you should follow me, you should buy my program, you should watch my makeup tutorials. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about all of this is because TikTok pretty has turned into the new face that Gen Z will try to copy. It's all the same makeup looks, it's all the mid-sized lips, the non-invasive brows, and the very, very tiny snatched nose. It all starts to look so painfully similar that it's crazy. You're not going to see some influencer come out of the woodwork with a unique face because it's simply not what Gen Z wants. They want everything to be safe, packaged, and very easily attainable, which is kind of weird because the safer and more copyable somebody looks, it is just that much easier for them to slap the same look on their own faces. Obviously, if somebody actually has a very unique face shape or a unique vibe to their face, it's not something that people can just simply go out and get for themselves. And that's another thing about this entire phenomenon that I find so strange, because when was beauty something that we decided we needed to steal from other people? Genuinely, this is real advice that people give. To be attractive, just copy everybody else.
The quickest way to glow up is to find someone who looks similar to you, who is beautiful, and honestly just copy their style. I know people are going to be like, no, you should have your own style. No, if you have a similar face shape to somebody who is absolutely gorgeous, then you need to copy their style, because that is the quickest way to glow up. Go on Pinterest and look at women who have similar features like you do, a similar skin tone, and start looking at how they dress, how they do their makeup, how they wear their hair.
Ain't nobody look like me, I'm one of one, 100%. Like, what are we talking about? I think the uniqueness that we all have for being very different, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're an identical twin, and even then identical twins are still slightly different. I feel like it's a blessing that we don't look like everybody else. And I've never thought to be like, oh, that's really cool on her. I look like her. I'm gonna be her now. Guys, it's weird. We can't just simply look at another person anymore and think to ourselves, wow, they're really pretty. You look at somebody now and decide, I want to look like that too. I want to have the same level or type of beauty that they have. Nothing can just be uniquely your own anymore. Gen Z is willingly making themselves look like everybody else because once they know what types of pretty perform the best, you can literally go out and get any treatment in order to look that way. That is why everybody seems to have the same face now. And at this point, it's actually leading to an epidemic, you guys. I wonder often if something like that, like seeing a certain type of pretty on Pinterest or on Instagram and deciding, I want to look like that, is that stemming from insecurity because you don't want to look like you? Or maybe it's the idea of not even understanding what looks best on you, because that does take a level of effort, being like, okay, if I get bangs, are bangs gonna hit or bangs not gonna hit? Then the other day I pulled my forehead out in a video and I freaking jump scared myself. Like, only at that point, like, did I look at somebody and go like, I need bangs because they have bangs? No, I had to decide, is this gonna hit or not? To me, you have to have like a level of confidence to do what is best for you.
I'm not hating on anybody in this video, but it has to be said. Am I the only person who feels like every single person, every single girl looks exactly the fucking same? Exactly the same. I mean, everybody's doing their makeup the exact same. They are dressing the exact same. Like, I'm in Austin, Texas. If you're in Austin, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to see the same belt buckle. Everywhere you go, you're gonna see the same fake freckles, the same lash lift, all the—
Do you really need somebody else to tell you what's freaking cool, bro? That is telling me that you are so not cool. You know, that you gotta walk down First Avenue downtown. You gotta take a peek. Is everybody wearing a beige trench coat? I'm gonna get myself a beige trench coat. Do you like a trench coat? Trench coat makes you look like a streaker. Yes, it does. Makes you look like a flasher. You're gonna flash somebody in the streets. The truth is, you have to decide what you like, what fits your body. Me personally, if I don't have some top that defines my waist in some way, I feel like I look like a sack of potatoes. I'm 5'1". I know what works for me and what does not work for me. If everybody out here is wearing a floor-length beige trench coat, it's gonna eat me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter if it's a trend or not. I know it's not going to work. But I'm so glad people are starting to wake up, because it's like, just because that lip shape on that person looks nice doesn't mean it's for you, Jessica. But the truth is, nowadays, being different is somewhat embarrassing. Trying too hard comes across as cringe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't win. Doing anything that goes outside of what Gen Z's favorite influencers are doing somehow makes you kind of an outcast. Like, I know my best friend will sometimes come up to me and be like, have you heard of the X, Y, and Z trend? And I'm like, who? Sorry, I've been MIA off my phone for 3 days. I literally don't know what you're talking about. Like, well, you know, the newest summer shoe is this. I don't care what anybody's wearing. I'll rock my Birkenstocks.
Gen Z's obsession with perception is killing interpersonal relationships. Vulnerability is cringe. Being seen as a multidimensional person with flaws and interests is cringe. Sometimes it's hard to have a conversation with people my own age because all you guys want to do is parrot TikTok audios back and forth to each other. Like, we can't, like, we're incapable of making our own jokes.
It's so rough, you guys. We need to develop ourselves a little more. And it's for that same reason that Gen Z can so openly bully one another based on looks. That is why Gen Z tries to look exactly the same as everyone else, because they judge others just as bad. So Gen Z has repackaged something being different as overall just being a bad thing, which ends up diluting everyone's perception of beauty. I think I've said this in like a million of my videos, but I truly think that there's something beautiful about every single person. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure I could pick out a feature on my dad that I'm like, that is just like, my dad has the most beautiful eyes, for example. Like, it's really not hard to see beauty in every single person, even yourself. I find it bizarre that we can't all wear who we are so proudly without being miles and hours deep into the social media algorithm in order to tell us what is actually good looking and what isn't. And even then, is it so bad not to be high pretty? Is it so bad not to have the look that everybody has? Me personally, I find it to be a wonderful thing not to look like everybody else and to choose the things that I want to wear because I want to wear them. And I think everybody that is so deeply wrapped up in needing to look a certain way to make other people happy or to be good enough for other people, and especially strangers on the internet that you have literally never met, it's sad. So yes, let's be honest, the whole Gen Z face thing has gotten completely out of control. control. And if our generation doesn't fully embrace the fact that these sky-high beauty standards are just absolutely insane and completely dumb, then literally nothing will change. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, throw it a big fat thumbs up and also subscribe down below.